questions. Usually these answers are less than 60 seconds, I'd say. So whatever comes to your mind. All right, number 1, life-changing book for the business owner.
Rocket Fuel by Gino Wickman, second only to or anything that Patrick Lencioni wrote. And then obviously Rich Dad Poor Dad, I guess, was the antithesis. Everyone who gets into real estate specifically has to read that book. So that would probably be the life-changing one. But yeah, recently, A CEO Only Does Three Things by Trey Taylor was really cool. Yeah, I could go on, but there's a pretty good list right there.
Awesome. Sounds good. Number 2, person who has mostly inspired you.
So there's not one person that's, I'm not a big hero guy. I never really had someone that I was, that I constantly, listen to or do that. But I do love reading books. And so I tend to think that there's an infinite number of mentors out there. And the only limitation is, the speed at which I can digest that information. And so anyone young out there that doesn't have good reading habits, I would be careful. Just don't rely solely on podcasts and YouTube and those kind of things. Get into the paper, get into the Word, of course, but they also get into a book. Just start reading books. There's so much quality content out there that I think people should be absorbing. So no direct hero, no direct person I look up to. I could obviously give you my parents were great role models and I love them dearly, but I don't think that was the intent of the question. I think more it's, I kind of look to everybody. There's a book called Borrowed Brilliance, which is the idea that there's no such thing as original thought. You can kind of bolt on different ideas to something. For example, turnkey real estate. I'm not the first one to buy a house. I'm not the first one to remodel a house. I'm not the first person to property manage a house or sell a house, but doing it all in one loop, it's pretty unique.
Yeah. No, definitely. Key ingredient to your success.
Good upbringing. Blessed to be able to, say that, my parents invested in me at an early age. And when I say that, they invested in me. We're a very tight-knit family. They enjoyed traveling together, spending family time together, dinners around the table, card games, board games, and then, a good education. They actually, I went to a private boarding school in New Zealand called King's College, which would be the number one school in New Zealand for high school. And so they knew that a good education would set me up for success. So I think that certainly has led me to be able to catapult on to where I am today.
What's a quote that you love?
Real estate is a crockpot business, not a microwave business. We're in the business of getting wealthy slowly over time, not getting rich quick.
I like that. I'm going to take that, steal that. Favorite athlete you follow?
I'm a golfer, so I enjoy watching PGA Tour. Patrick Mahomes is someone that most recently has just come onto the scene in Kansas City, so obviously he's idolized around here. But what I like about him is that he is definitively the ideal team player, right? So as Patrick Lencioni describes an ideal team player, it's someone who is humble, hungry, and smart. Humble in that you put team first above individual accolades. Hungry, like driven to succeed. And then smart, and not smart like IQ, but smart like EQ, knowing when to say the right thing, when to be quiet, when to confront someone on an issue, when to step back. And we try and surround ourselves with ideal team players. But man, that organization now, the Chiefs are running at a very, very high level. And I think Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes are the biggest reasons, because you just, even looking the way Travis Kelce has kind of, morphed into, more of a humble being now. When he first came out, he was brash and kind of confrontational, was all about him. Man, since Patrick's been there, and I think he just leads by example. He's been given, again, a great upbringing, a great family. His dad was a great athlete. I think he's someone that I would say would be someone that I would have no problem my kids looking up to, saying, I want to be like that guy one day.
Sounds good. Last one. What's a bucket list item?
I'm a travel guy. And so I would love to go different places. I have literally a map called the bucket list map that I'll see a place and end up going there. One of the recent additions was a place called Post Ranch Inn, which is a place out in Carmel and on the Monterey Peninsula. It just looked idyllic. And so one of my friends had gone there and said, hey, this is where I'm at. So I looked it up and I'm like, oh, bucket list. I want to go there with my wife, So there's bucket lists for personal, and then for couples, and then for, friends, and then family, destination places. But I just crossed off a bucket list recently when my wife and I actually went down to Mexico, rented out an awesome place down there, and celebrated our 20-year wedding anniversary with the people that were in our wedding, as well as the couples that were closest to us right now. So we had 6 couples down there, just having a great time, renewed our vows on a beach, overlooking the Pacific. It was just idyllic. So it's all about, to me now, it's about creating experiences for friends and family that you can celebrate together.
Love it. Awesome. Thank you so much, Mark. Before we end the show, I forgot to mention there's possibly a new leadership position that you have came on board. We're part of the same mastermind group, the Collective Genius. I just saw a few weeks ago, possibly you hopping on the leadership team on that. So tell us about that real quick. And what's the Collective Genius meant to you as well?
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate the shout out. So the Collective Genius is a real estate mastermind network of basically the top real estate investors from each metro come together and pool their real estate knowledge and talent. I've been a part of that group now for it'll be 5 years in September, and it has really helped me through all of these things that we're talking about: growing as a business owner, a husband, a father, surrounding myself with quality, like-minded individuals that can help me grow and scale. A lot of what we talked about today has come and been birthed out of that group. Been blessed to have been invited on to be part of that leadership team. Jason approached me a couple months ago with the idea and just announced it a few weeks ago that I will be facilitating a room and helping with the leadership of that group moving forward. So yeah, quite an honor. It came completely out of left field. But it's been fun to be a part of, and will continue to be a part of. Again, I think kind of the bucket list, my bucket list now is not so much things I want to do, but who I want to do it with. And similarly, this is kind of a bucket list, business thing for me, because it's allowing me to give back in a way that I wouldn't without this vehicle. People will naturally be looking up to me and asking for guidance in a way that I feel I have the knowledge and know-how and time. That's one of the biggest things now,
for sure.
To give back and invest in them. So I'm excited for what those next steps will be.
Sounds good. Well, congrats. It's no better man to step into that. I know you're going to do an awesome job. So thanks for being on our show today, Mark. Really appreciate you, man. And God bless you and your family.
Thanks, Brett. Enjoyed it.
Thank you so much for checking out the Brett Snodgrass channel. If you like this video, please slam on that like button. And if you really like it, then subscribe to our channel here. And remember to leave us a comment below, and I'm going to try my hardest to reply to all the comments. Thank you guys so much. This is why I do what I do. Every single week, I come out with content that focuses on success, freedom, and living out your purpose. Thank you guys so much. See you next time.